Hello and welcome to another episode of Star Wars Alliance. Of course, I'm your host Clay, and with me, like every single week, of course, is Katie. Katie, how you doing?
I'm good. Please hold. I'm going to change my Wi-Fi
Ah,
because I
okay.
realized I'm connected to the wrong Wi-Fi, and that's my problem.
Oh man. And now she's frozen, but only for a short while, hopefully, maybe. I don't know. She's forever frozen now. Um, while we get her back, um, oh
Am I
wait,
back?
there we go. She's back. All right. Uh,
Whee!
Tonight we have a couple of things that have come up in the news that we will talk about. But our main two topics of tonight are, of course, the brand new Young Jedi Adventures Season 3 that came out 2 days ago.
Yep.
And uh, the Path of the Lightsaber that came out last week, I believe. 2 weeks ago? Can't remember.
A month ago.
Um, has it been a month already?
Yeah.
Whoa.
It
Okay.
came out the same week as Master of Evil. Which, by the way,
Ah,
if you have finished Master of Evil and are looking for our review, we've reviewed it already. Kind of, sort
yes.
of. We need to follow up, Clay. We need to
Yes, yes.
reread so we can follow up. But yes, that has been reviewed. So now we're catching up on the final, realistically, new piece of Star Wars media for the year. So,
Yes. Which does remind me, we are planning on a break for, of course, Christmas. So don't expect there to be an episode for the week of Christmas, but we will most likely be back the very next week. Um,
no, I think I put on our calendar because I got married on the 31st. So, I think I
oh,
put on our calendar that we are recording the following week as well.
yeah, so we're taking 2 weeks off, and then we're jumping it back in January. Um, but
Yes, we are taking a break.
it's a much needed break, actually. Um, and these breaks pause help us uh, recoup, but also they help us, get organized for the next year, especially at the end of the year. I still
Yep.
have been kind of scrummaging up some ideas for topics for next year as well. My portion of the calendar is like spring, summer that I need to be filling out. And so with those 2 weeks, it'll be like for me time to actually place them inside the calendar. But yeah, we have those two main topics. News segments of today deal with video games, and and
The hunt
and
for Ben Solo.
and the hunt for Ben Solo. There was that small little thing there as well.
Yep.
So, Katie, which one would you like to do first? Would you like to sit back while I talk about the video games since you're not really into all that, or do you want to talk
That's what
about
I
the?
was gonna say.
Okay, okay. So let me start my little rant with the video games, and then we will jump into the hunt for Ben Solo news. Okay, guys. So, the very first bit of news that we received, and I actually want to make sure timeline wise I am getting this correct. That was yeah. So 2 days ago, 3 days ago, really, we started hearing rumblings that the Knights of the Old Republic game is not dead as far as the remake goes. And I told Travis like 3 or 4 times in a row, I was like, don't give me hope. Don't tell this to me. It's not true. Stop. Just let it die. It's okay if this thing dies, okay? But these rumors do seem to be true with an inevitable announcement. Hopefully the time that you are listening to this, tonight at the Game Awards. The Game Awards are
Okay.
going to be, I believe it's tomorrow. I want to double check. Is it tomorrow or is it Saturday?
You're asking
Game
the wrong person.
Awards 2025, December 11th. Yes, tomorrow. So, tomorrow, there is hopefully going to be an actual announcement. But from some weird, like, I don't know how these people got these documents or whatever, but according to some documents, the Knights of the Old Republic release is actually not going coming from what was it? Air was the name of it, I believe. Yeah, it says here that the court documents revealed that an unannounced KOTOR 2 remake, and this is how they found out that this series was still alive. That the second KOTOR game is in development, and that Madhead Games, alongside Saber Interactive, is making KOTOR 1 and 2, and it's no longer in the hands of Asper. Now, I needed to do some digging myself, and I was literally doing the research right before the show started. What is it called? Sorry. Madhead Games. They do not have a lot of games in their wheelhouse. I think the biggest name that they have is Hellraiser's Revival. And then there's something called Scars Above. Are there two, like, bigger games? I think they've dealt with some of the, like, small mobile stuff before, or like the small $3 or $4 games that you randomly see on things like
Yeah.
Steam or the PlayStation Store and Xbox Live and stuff like that. But bigger IPs, these are the two games that I have seen that they have made. Looking at the graphics for like what's on their website, I think I'm okay with this. I do need to take a deeper dive into this Hellraiser Revival because this is their biggest IP. And I would like to see what the reviews are. If they know how to handle bigger IPs, then all better for them to be working on Knights of the Old Republic.
Right.
I am very excited that they are already starting to work on the second one. What that tells me is, hey, we're in this for the long haul. This could, and my hopes, even when it was first announced 5 years ago, by the way, guys, this was announced 5 years ago. I was still living. Was it 5 years ago? No. It wasn't five. Couldn't have been five. We had just gotten Flynn. So it was 3 years ago, 4 years ago. But my hopes for this franchise is that this becomes a revival of the franchise. So not only do we get KOTOR 1 and 2, but quite possibly this will bring in either the Old Republic 3, or, because here's a small spoiler for Young Jedi Adventures, we know that the Old Republic takes place before the High Republic. So if they were to make a High Republic game, oh, whoo, that would be amazing. It would be absolutely amazing.
Yeah,
But
I
that-
loved that little shout out for the Old Republic.
Yeah, I thought that was really, really fun. But that's what my hopes are. And like I said, I'm really hoping for an announcement tomorrow at the Game Awards. Which, by the way, if you guys do plan on watching the Game Awards, the guys over at Geekverse usually live stream alongside the Game Awards. So I will be in the chat over at at this channel right here, Geekverse YouTube channel. So if you want to hang out with me, Travis, Taylor, all of them, then by all means join us. But with that, there is one more gaming announcement. And that announcement is came out of left field, by the way. Completely out of left field. Nobody was expecting this. And I'm surprised they did not wait until the game awards for this one. But again, it's
If you want it
smaller.
to get a little bit of publicity, I understand putting this one because this is a mobile first game.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
if you know, hey, we're going to talk about KOTOR at the Game Awards,
And
publicity for both.
this could still make it on the Game Awards. But this is still, I think, a smaller deal. This is coming from StarWars.com. All hands on deck for a new Star Wars collectible card game. So there are things called TCGs, it's collectible card games. And then there's what is it? There's a difference between them. It's TCG and then TCC. I can't remember, but with this, I'm actually really excited for this card game because well, let me just read this right here, and then I'll give you a little bit more insight on the people who are actually developing this game. Lucasfilm Games and 036 Studios, along with CCG Lab, are teaming up for a brand new collectible card game for Android, iOS, and PC. Build decks featuring an all-star roster of your favorite characters like Luke Skywalker, Darth Vader, and a Star Wars card game that will bring the saga to life in a fresh new way for the genre. Together with 036 Studio and Lucasfilm Games, we're creating something truly exciting for players and fans alike. An experience that celebrates the joy of play in the galaxy far, far away, Corey Jones, the CEO of CCG Lab, says. Our mission is to is to craft an experience that captures the thrill, adventure, and heart of Star Wars. A game that feels instantly familiar, yet constantly surprising. The opportunity to develop a game for Star Wars is a profound honor for our studio, says 036. Stay tuned, of course, at StarWars.com and other places. Now, the really excited thing for me is this 036 Studios.
Okay.
036 036 blah, blah, is actually a merger from several different companies.
Okay.
It is a merger between Newverse, ByteDance, and what was the other one? There was a third one. And I can't remember the third one. But they've made really, really popular, very, very high demand games. One being something that I am fortunately, unfortunately addicted to called Marvel Snap. This is a game that I spend money on regularly, monthly, even. So I already know this game, not only is it Star Wars, but it's coming from a studio that already has my money. I'm probably going to give them more of my money. And then one of these studios also made a game called Hatsune Miku Colorful Stage, which is a popular mobile game with over 20 million downloads. So Lucasfilm, Star Wars games, they did their research and said, hey, who's going to help us get the most downloads and the most money on the spot?
Yeah.
Marvel Snap took the mobile gaming by storm the first year that they were created. It's been, up and down for the last year and a half, but that first year was the golden years for that game. So attaching ByteDance and Newverse here is very high in demand, mobile game wise, and I think that is very, very cool. Um, I would say that I'm going to try to not immediately throw money at this game, but I will download it.
Yeah.
And I will play it. I know that Taylor over at Geekverse, he was a little sour that this news came out and not something like extremely big, AAA game wise or whatever. But I'm willing to bet he's also going to give it a try. So, I'll be here, of course, at Star Wars Alliance on any and all social media. If you want to talk about it with me, I will more than willingly talk about it with you, as well as in the Geekverse Discord. So if you're excited, just like I am, I'm more than willing. Like, if I know with these types of games, they do things like guilds and teams and things like that. Maybe we can, make a guild for Star Wars Alliance. I think that would be a lot of fun.
Yeah. Except all that went in one ear, out the other, because all of it's way above my head. I have way too. I'm trying to play less on my phone. So,
Well, and that's why I think it's great that it's for PC as well,
yeah.
because if it gets too much, if I find myself on my phone too much, I will most likely delete it off my phone, but I will download it on my computer so that way, hey, I'll play it while I'm on my computer, but I can walk away from it.
Yeah.
So I think that's good as well. But also, the best part about these card games is that they are very strategic. It makes your brain, work a little bit, and that's why I like it. It keeps me like going for it. I know a lot of people can just like turn off their brains and play games, but like
Yeah.
strategic games, just like I love strategic games, and it helps me a lot with my ADHD brain.
I'm not judging. As I sit here crocheting to help my ADHD brain focus. So,
Now, that is it for the video game news.
yep.
We have one
News,
thing,
but not really news. But like,
yeah.
it's interesting. Daisy
So
Ridley
yeah,
says in an interview that she has heard about the hunt for Ben Solo and would, quote, love to see it happen.
I think this is just putting more fuel to the flame. Um, I'm totally fine with it. Travis is also completely okay with it. He's the one that shared it into our chat, which I thought was funny. Um, yeah, like this, I
Oh no,
think.
I shared it. He just responded with the
Oh,
kiss
did he?
gif.
Okay, okay,
Yeah.
okay. Um, I just think that it's just gonna take a little bit longer. Just a few more pokes, a few more pokes, a few more
Yep.
prods. Like for this to be like basically our Snyder cut, I think is hilarious.
Yeah.
Because again, like I will always remind people that everybody called the Snyder cut a pipe dream,
Mm-hmm.
and then it happened. So, you know, I think anything is possible. I think if you again just poke and prod, we know that Bob is most likely not going to be at Disney for too much longer. There's still a lot of talks of like who's going to take over when he retires. There's still a lot of people that are saying who said he's retiring. But we'll see. We'll
He
see.
did.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, but I think there is a lot of fear, quote unquote, of him being like, yeah, I did say I was going to retire, but never mind.
Yeah.
You know, and that would be kind of a jerk move. But I think he will. I think he will.
Here's hoping.
But yeah, here's crossing our fingers because I think that's the only way we're gonna get the hunt for Ben Solo. Um, so which one of these do you want to talk about first? Do you want to talk about season 3?
Oh yeah, I was like, which one? Wait, we
Sorry.
already talked about it. No, sorry. Um, See, this is what happened. I picked up my phone to text Matt because I remembered Wake Up Dead Man is coming out on Friday, and so I was texting
Is
him.
it
And I
this
was like,
Friday?
yeah, it's coming out on Netflix this Friday. So I was texting him, and I was like, because Friday nights is typically his game night. But then, so I was reminding him, and I was like, remember, Friday night you're booked. Like, and I got distracted. This is why I crochet, so I can't pick up anything else, guys.
So yes, we're going on to our main topics. Season 3 or Path of the Lightsaber. Which do you think? Because again, I think even though 7 episodes, we're not going to go through every episode. I think if
Correct.
anything,
Yes.
we'll talk about our our favorites, what we thought of the entire series, because this was the finale of the
Yes, and the
series.
post credit, in quotes.
There was a post credit.
In quotes, like the ending scene.
Oh yeah. There was a time jump. We'll say that. There was a time jump. But let's just go. Let's go ahead and jump there. Then we'll go ahead and talk about Young Jedi Adventures.
Okay, let's do it.
Uh,
So,
is
guys, this dropped December 8th on Disney Plus and Disney Junior. It is 7 episodes, and it's 6 two-parter episodes, and the finale is a full 30-minute episode, which is kind of standard to what they've done previously. So everybody returns, but you do kind of have a new villain, kind of, sort of, in the midst of this season, because Cyrus, I think is his name,
AKA
kind of-
Tabor.
aka Tabor, turned over a relatively new leaf in his setup. So you need a kind of villain.
And let's talk about that real quick. So Tabor for the last 2 seasons, he was the main villain of season 1, kind of a side villain not the true antagonist of season 2, because there was like the pirates and stuff that
Yeah.
we also got. But there was an ongoing story with Cyrus and Tabor. How did you feel about the ending of that story?
I didn't mind it. I would have wished, with how few episodes they had this season, that they would have kept up a little bit of consistency in that last episode. Could have really been the defining moment, I think, with Tabor, versus bringing in a new villain who gets his own kind of redemption arc at the end. That would have been my preference. What about you?
I really well, and the thing was, what I was going to tell you is that I think that the Tabor episode was going to be my favorite episode until I saw the post-credit scene of the final episode. That really kind of hammered it as my favorite episode.
Yeah,
Because
I did
because
love
of the
Tabor.
implications that it has for the future. And with this, the first 3 episodes I felt like were just super quick, and I didn't really get a whole lot out of it. Which I absolutely love, because like, and the reason why I say I love it is because Amberlynn is going through a phase that if she doesn't choose what we watch, she doesn't like it. So she recognizes every single opening of every show that she watches. So the first 3 seconds, if they are not recognizable, she immediately looks at me or Abby, starts quivering her lip, and says, "I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like it." And I'm like, "Tough love, girl. I have to watch this for the podcast, so we're just gonna watch this." And she pouts and she pouts and she pouts, and then all of a sudden, she'll start getting into it.
Yeah.
And the episode with Belle and Ember, the musical episode,
I did love that episode.
which I loved that episode. The moment Belle started to play, I saw at the corner of my eye, Amberlyn was just like grooving and
Yes.
dancing. And I was like, all right, all right. But like that was, I think that was my overall favorite.
Mhm.
I enjoyed the growth of these characters, even excluding the last 2 minutes of the finale. But like genuinely, you could tell there was a maturity with these characters between season 2 and season 3.
It is because you see, there's a lot less issues for Kai in this regard. Because Kai, like we've talked about in previous reviews, is kind of like your audience character. Like, hey, you're gonna learn your lesson from Kai today.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's Nubs and sometimes it's Liz. So but like most of the time it's Kai. And Kai really felt like he took a step up from what he had been doing. And I really dug that because obviously this is a kid's show. So a kid's not going to get as frustrated from this. But as the adult watching, you're like, Kai, when are you going to learn to? Because you're dumb.
Yeah.
But like at the end of the day, like it is a kid's show. So I can recognize that. It's not a valid criticism because it's a kid's show in that regard. Though I do think kids are smart. But there's so much growth, and I love how they're adventuring out past their usual bounds. But we got to return to some favorite places. We got to return to the snow planet. We got to enjoy Tanu. We got to go to Naboo. Like, when's the last time we saw Naboo? Like, I loved that.
I really enjoyed all of the places, and you kind of could tell, right, that like I think maybe midway through, I want to say episode 3 or 4, it got to the point where I'm like, okay, we've seen every character from the previous seasons. This is like we're hitting all the high notes, you know?
Yeah.
Before the send off. There is one character that we did not see for this season, and I'm very curious why. If you remember,
the Master.
I think she may have been in season 1, definitely in season 2. The pirate scrapper person who had a history with Nash's mom. Do you remember her from last season? The short-haired blonde woman. Kind of had like a Han Solo-esque get-up with a jacket.
Yeah, I think that was the one who like was flirting with the Master. Is that who you're talking about?
Oh, yeah. Actually, yeah.
Yeah, she definitely wasn't in here. But I didn't think the Master was in here a ton
until
comparatively.
But she was in the final episode. She wasn't in the entire season until the final episode, because she actually becomes the true master of one of our 3 heroes, which she's Liz's master.
No, Liz's master is the Padawan from the guy on Batuu.
What?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. So Wes is the master's Padawan from Tanu. Liz's master is the one who was the Padawan on Batu, and then Bell is Kai's master.
I love that, by the way. Let's just hold the
Yeah.
freaking phone real quick. Let's just. I've been trying to avoid talking about it. Let's just talk about it because, like, my initial the title of this episode, "The Future of Star Wars?" question mark, because both of these entities that we're talking about, Young Jedi Adventures as well as Path of the Lightsaber, they are continuing on parts of the timeline that are unexplored.
Yep.
Therefore, future esque projects, possibly for us. We know that the High Republic is not ending, right? We know that's true. There's going to be other comics that come out
Yep.
with this. The fact that they took the time to animate these characters all grown up, again, I say all grown up, they are like young adult, closer
Yeah.
probably to like truly like Anakin, like wise in Attack of the Clones. Like I think
Yep.
when I saw I okay seeing freaking Nubs
He's
being
so.
the big teddy bear that he
I
is
love it.
now. I love it. He is so huge and fluffy. I love it.
And I was
Especially
curious why they did the Nubs episode with Wes. And it's purely to set up that relationship right there. That's all that
yeah.
is
Mhm.
hey, like Wes has kind of helped all three of them, but now we're only going to include Wes in the episode where it makes sense, like for the future, basically.
Yeah. I love that. Like as we had our uh opinions on Wes in the
Correct.
last season. We felt that some of his appearances didn't really fit in the sense of like we didn't like the precedent of the white thief that he was fitting into. Here, it fits more so as somebody who is experiencing the lessons of being trained himself as a Padawan, teaching a youngling. This is something that is normalized in the Jedi Academy in just all around the
Yep.
Jedi upbringing, right? To single it out and then show it at the very end, I love the fact that oh, they did this on purpose.
Yeah.
Then we see Liz, and she is going through an amazing training course, which I love for the fact that like we hardly ever see Liz in like hardcore combat.
Yeah, she's been relegated because Kai is the hardcore combat person. And
Yes,
so getting to see her on her own in that regard was awesome.
but she is normally the uh one who is talented with communicating with creatures.
And we still get to see her do that, which is awesome. Like I love that Wes and Nubs are working in plant specific areas and then we get
Mhm.
this and I can't ever remember the Padawan's name from Batu. um
I can't remember her name either.
but
Um
are doing animal based
yeah.
things.
Like
So
we see her go into like she has like a baby lizard s creature and giving it to its mother. But then we see Kai. And I love this because in the episode, in this exact episode, when the final battle is taking place, Kai finds his original blade that he lost in the very first episode. And he starts to fight with it. He dual wields lightsabers.
he goes, I think I need something to help me. And he looks at it because he got it back in the last season. And so it's
Yeah.
been sitting on his belt in like a pocket and he pulls it out and is like, I need something to help me in
That's
this
right. Yeah,
battle.
yeah, 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 yeah.
And so he starts fighting with it. And dude, I love this. But he gives it back to Yoda at the end.
Well,
He gives Yoda's blade back.
here's the thing: you never see Yoda take it.
That's true. But we also know that Kai was like, these aren't real lightsabers yet.
Yes,
So the
these aren't
lightsabers they're
real.
wielding at the end are real.
Are real. But when I saw Kai dual wielding blades, I said, this is a foreshadow. The next time we see Kai, whether it be in a comic, whether it be in an animated film, whether anything, it could even be in freaking like actual toy product in our world. I bet you anything we're gonna see him with dual blades. And to
Yep. And
see him, the very first frame you see him in is in a battle stance with a blue and a green blade.
I love that they're different colors.
I freaked out. I freaked out so hard. Like Amberlynn even looked at me like, "What's wrong?" I was so excited. And then the very next frame, when you actually see Belle, I freaked out even more, knowing that Belle becomes a master to train Kai is the greatest thing ever. Not only that, in that same fight, we also see Burry. So they are just like a trio that is going to, like, I'm headcanoning that they are just a like a trifecta of bros that just hang out all the time and go on missions together. This is a like it's perfect for me. It's absolutely
Yeah,
perfect.
and Wikipedia has this set. Um, it says Young Jedi Adventures Season 3 takes place after the Season 2 episode Yoda Rescue, which features the mission to Vrant Tarnum, which is when Yoda went to the moon Vrant Tarnum alongside elders of the path Elder Tromac in 232 BBY. To retrieve a Nihil specific artifact before Marchion Ro. It says season 3 is also set while Bell Zettifar is a Padawan and still with Ember, placing it prior to the destruction of Starlight Beacon. Star Wars Timeline states these events to 232 and 230 BBY respectively, meaning season 3 takes place between those years. I don't know if I agree with the fact that it would be Starlight Beacon because Bell Zettifar is still a Padawan and he still has Ember in phase 3. Or
Yes, because
not in phase 3, but like, yeah.
Because he is
In
given
phase 1.
knighthood in phase 3.
Yeah. So I see what it's saying now with destruction of Starlight Beacon. I was taking that as like before the Nihil crisis. So it takes place somewhere in that time frame
Yeah.
between Light of the Jedi and Fallen Star.
Yes.
I don't know why we couldn't have gotten a Nihil reference in this just as like a one-off.
I think more so because like, hey, that's like too dark, you know, kind of thing. Though that's
But
for
like
the
you
adults.
just call it like a raider. Like you just say the Nihil Raiders. Like I mean, they used raiders all the time in this.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I still really enjoyed the season. I loved the ending time jump thing, though I did find it a little weird that Wes was sleeping on Nubs in one of the shots in the time jump. I thought that was a little strange.
It was a little, but it's also just like Nubs is so big, you know?
Yeah.
So I didn't really take it as like anything too much. I did love at the very end, we did see Cyrus and Nash both grown up as well.
I appreciated that because I felt like Nash kind of got left out this season.
I was I was really excited when she finally did show up, and I think episode like 3 or 4. But I was also very worried that like, hey, where is she? Are they just going to not present her in this season? like because she even had like a bit of an episode on her own.
Yeah.
Her like getting the violin to her mother.
Yep.
I thought that was a very fun episode also.
It was definitely like a lot of these episodes are super fun and they're super simple, which makes it just kind of coasting almost through the rest of it. Not coasting. Coasting's the wrong word, but like it's a super easy watch. I'm still stuck on the fact that they introduced a new bad guy this season. I would have rather had no bad guy and then Tabor kind of popped back up in the earlier episodes and then he's resolved kind of. I wish they had reorchestrated that because even though this is a kid's show, you still want to connect with your characters and you've connected with Tabor all this time and then you kind of sidelight him for the final
Yeah,
season.
like I didn't really like Wreck,
Yeah.
especially the main story of Wreck is the power of friendship, and people know how I feel about this. When you literally just throw the problem solving to the power of love or the power of friendship, um, I think that's sometimes a little silly. And the reason why I think that's silly is kids have the capability of critical thinking. And when you throw something as simple as the power of love or the power of friendship,
Yep.
yeah, it teaches a lesson, but you're not letting your kids think. You're not letting your audience think. And so with Rec, and I saw it coming because every single episode, oh, I just want new friends. Oh, here's my new
Yep.
friends. Oh, here's my new friends. I was like, oh, I wonder how we're going to solve this problem.
Yeah. I did think it would have been cool because of how they worked with Apex because Apex is really like the villain of the season, like final big bad, big boss,
Hmm.
whatever you want to call him. I thought it would have been cool because his design is very similar to the droid from Star Wars droids in the comic. Um
Hmm.
and I thought maybe there was a connection there because I didn't finish droids, but I remembered reading that um they were taking it and this is like some legendary droid controller who wants to free the droids kind of thing. So,
So, in my mind, and hopefully this doesn't freeze your side, but he reminded me of HK-47. This is a
yeah.
character that is from Knights of the Old Republic. He is an evil droid in the Knights of the Old Republic. Sorry, I don't know why I said the High Republic. But it's a character that I immediately was like, when I saw Apex, I was like, oh, I wonder if they're putting any reference to this character. And I would have loved a little bit more of a hands-on, like, rebooting of the character, like, legitimately, instead of Rec literally looking at him and said, I want new friends. Just please give me the bracelet or give me the switch or whatever. And he just like there was no indication, like color of his eyes
Yeah.
changing or anything. It was just, okay, here you go. Like there was no visual cue that made you really think that he changed his ways, which I think probably would have helped for especially younger folks that are watching this show. But yeah, I like it's over and done with. I think that this season was good enough. Again, referencing the last 2 minutes of this season overall. And but like I understand the decision to be like, hey, because Disney is only giving us this many episodes, we got to make things a little simpler.
Yeah.
which is why I also thought like it was a little odd that like 2 episodes back to back were music based, and I was just like, oh, okay. But like it might have been a little easier for them to jumble those together. Or like when in the writing room, they're like, music, and they're like, okay, we'll do that for 2 episodes.
Yeah. So the droid I was thinking about from Dark Droid, the correct series title from Star Wars comics is Dark Droids, and the droid's name was Ajax Sigma. So not Apex, but I was like, dude,
Yeah.
very similar here. um, but yeah, I enjoyed the season. I thought it was super cute. Um, I love, again, going back to, I love that we actually got to see the characters grow in this instance. Liz, especially with who becomes her master, like with the holocam incident. I thought that was a great episode. Like,
Hmm.
hey, get off your phone and pay attention to what's going around you dudes.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
basically. Um, so like I'm moving so much back to like analog and stuff. Like I've got post-it notes everywhere on my monitors. Like, hey, do this, hey, do that. Like, so I really enjoyed the season. It, like you said, it was good.
Yeah.
But it's a kid's show. That's all it needs to be.
Yeah. 100%. And it's something that genuinely, if like we have nothing else to watch, I'm totally
Mm-hmm.
okay with putting that back on for another, 2 or 3 episodes every now and again.
Yeah. I started the shorts with Mara from season one. And she was actually like, this is the first time she's paid attention to anything. I know it's because of the colors, because I've tried to stick with like older TV shows, but I was like, okay, I need to watch this kind of thing. And I
Yeah,
needed something to keep her attention. I was like, Star Wars, yay. And she actually paid attention. So,
that's awesome.
mhm.
But I think that is it for the Young Jedi Adventures. Now, again, there is going to be a comic series that does come out. Um,
I think it's already out.
is it already out? Um, we will look into that as well. Um, if we, need something to fill in, a random fifth week, month, or whatever, we will look into it. But let's go ahead and also jump into. I totally don't have it with me right now. I left it in the other room. Path of the Lightsaber,
By
Volume
Kenny
1.
Ruiz.
Yes, by Kenny. I'm going to say Volume 1 because this definitely ends on a cliffhanger.
Yes, there is supposed to be 3 of these stories. Uh and I really dug, if you look at the back of the manga, you have his biography right there, and then
Yes,
you have a little comic panel that's
I
like,
I love this. I was
I
gonna
love
bring it up.
this.
I was gonna bring it up because it shows his inspiration. It shows
Mhm.
that he literally has lived through every single piece of Star Wars, all
Yep.
3 trilogies, and it inspired him to create this story.
And he does the art, he does the story, like, brava, brava. Like,
Yes, he
it's
is. He is a uh, resident of Spain, and to
okay.
get technical, you're gonna want to move up the glasses here. Um, Dealing with manga, he is the writer and artist that makes him a mangaka. Is the correct
Mangaka.
yes
Okay.
is the correct terminology for the writer slash artist of a manga. It is the mangaka.
Nice.
Yeah. But Katie, why don't you go ahead and give us a like quick overview of this story, kind of where it takes place as well, and then we'll talk about some of our favorite parts of this.
So, this takes place, I believe it's right after The Last Jedi. around that time frame because Supreme Leader is Kylo Ren in this story. So the correct, if you're looking for the year, it would be 34 ABY, which is after the Battle of Yavin. But so much takes place in 34 ABY that includes The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi. So to be accurate, this happens after The Last Jedi. Um, I have it on my bookshelf. It is after a Crash of Fate is and the House Young Legacy comic is where Utini has this in the timeline. Just for everybody like trying to put this go, where does this happen? So this takes place after that. We get the Battle of Crate kind of summary and everything, and this tackles a new character who basically works on a salvage crew. And the salvage crew has been hired to find something, to find an old ship, basically. And two of the members of the salvage crew, one was at the Battle of Endor, where he witnessed, quote, Luke Skywalker take down all of the Empire in one single blow. And then our main character, whose name is Nyoka Nastar, I think. Nyoka is her name. And both of them are kind of going back and forth between the resistance and telling stories of the rebellion. And they find the ship. And the captain is like, no, the resistance doesn't exist. We're just here to make money, kind of thing. She tells them, hey, we're actually working for the First Order. And they both kind of freak out and are like, how could you? Like, da da da. And so the rest of the story encompasses Nyoka finding a lightsaber on the ship. And the First Order representative, which happens to be a Ren perspective member, Knights of the Ren, or Knights of Ren perspective member.
He's not a Knights of Ren yet.
Correct. He's a perspective or
Yes.
prospect.
Yeah.
And I like him. I think his character's cool. I don't know if the manga art truly benefits the details for what I want to know about his character.
And that's kind of like one thing that is a small critique of mine. And this comes, you know, as somebody who I have read a lot of mangas before. I've had a very large critique of the way that Disney slash Marvel is trying to adapt their stories into mangas. They're, you know, they still do it the quote unquote correct way of reading a book when you're actually supposed to do it the opposite way. That's something that is bothersome of me, just as a manga purist, whatever. But also, one thing that just because it happens the way that it does, every artist is different, and sometimes black and white can be absolutely amazing for details, and sometimes it just doesn't do well with details.
Yeah.
This was one of those times that it didn't do amazing for details. There was a moment where they find the ship inside of the frozen cavern, and a lot of stuff happened. I got a little lost in the art, and I was like, okay, I'm trying to picture there being a ship there, but it kind of looks like a ship, but kind of doesn't. And so yeah, like it's a small nitpick of mine, but I still enjoyed the story, and I loved the flow of it. One thing that is a product of mangas that I feel like could have done a little bit better in mangas, because they don't have, well, sometimes they do, thought boxes, narration boxes. This wasn't a book that used narration boxes. Nyoka spoke out loud on everything. And so she was explaining a lot. She was the exposition for a lot of things. And it bothered me a little bit. Whereas if they would have placed it in a narration box with her like initials or something indicating that she is the one thinking these thoughts, I think would have been a little bit better. But again, this may be targeted for people who are not really big into mangas and hoping to get into mangas. So therefore, like these scenes where she's explaining, she's a mechanic, so her brain works differently. She
Yeah.
likes to explain things the way that, hey, this is how I relate to this. This is how I can really only understand the physics of lightsabers. So this is how I'm going to explain it. I like that. I
I do
really
as
enjoyed that.
well. Especially as somebody who is of the engineering mindset and who I've always kind of, especially with some of the things that we've learned recently with like Sabine, for instance, like, oh, wielding a lightsaber, why is it heavier than I expected it would be? Like,
Hmm.
those things draw you those questions, and I loved exploring that in this regard. Like, tracking the path and learning how things work. Like, that's the name of the game
Yeah.
for engineers. So, that really spoke to me as somebody who thinks really the same way as like my mom has always made fun of me, but like one of the ways that I have explained how my brain works is I was playing softball and I hit a ball and it went down the first baseline. And but it was like a soft dribbler, so it stopped like halfway up. So somebody came
Hmm.
and fielded it. And literally in a split second, I said, okay, I can run into this person and get out. Or I can kind of get out of the way, get to the base and be out. Or I can get out of the base path and get to the base and be safe. Or I could be called out of the base path. Like that's literally my brain said all of
you
that and
have
said,
you have to make your options. You have to know your
mm-hmm,
options, especially
yeah.
in a quick sport like baseball and softball. 100% agree with all of that.
So my mom has always made fun of me though because she's like, nobody understood what you did at all, but you were safe somehow. And I was like, yeah, it's because I said, okay, I got 1 out of 4 chances to be safe, so I might as well take it.
That's
It's like,
awesome.
but that's how my brain works. Is and so I really dug Nyoka walking through. Well, crap, that's not how that works. Like, because I got to this point and it stopped.
And again, mechanic brain. One thing that I really appreciate is something that actually happens in real life for I think most people. Um, because again, we look at the stranger in the acolyte and we're like, ooh, ah, he's a bad guy, but ooh, ah.
Ooh.
And that's exactly what happens to Nyoka in this book. We have this Rin dude by the name of Itai.
It's high.
It, Itai has this really cool kunai with chain kind of mechanism. So if people don't know what that is, it is basically a axe that has a giant chain that he is able to like move and manipulate like a whip.
Yep.
This is something that is very common in the Japanese arts of fighting weaponry wise. And I actually follow somebody on TikTok that like regularly uses this type of weapon to like break ice blocks and stuff. It's
Ooh.
really cool. But I immediately knew what it was. But Nyoka has never seen this weapon. And so
Mm-hmm.
when she sees it, she is observing it and she's like, wait, how does he do that? Oh, well, by blocking the resistance with this type of thing and this, he's actually able to manipulate this, this, and this. And then, like, after she's done analyzing it, she's like, it's crazy and despicable and destructive, but it's so beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she understands that, like, the beauty of the mechanical parts of the instrument. but she also knows and acknowledges, hey, this is a bad guy, and he's doing very dark and scary things with this type of weapon.
Yep.
Which I really appreciate that. But what I also kind of I laughed at throughout the entire thing. I want to know the real story behind um 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 oh gosh, what's his name?
Brazoon?
Uh Baron. Baron.
Baron. I had it right. I just had the letters misplaced.
Baron, he is saying, "Oh, I was there at the Battle of Endor. Oh, Luke Skywalker, I saw single-handedly, wipe everybody out. That that within itself, okay. I don't know what kind of spice you've been puffing, but we all know where Luke actually was, right? And so I want to know his real story
Yeah.
because he's like saying all of these like half truths, but like when they found the lightsaber, she wields it, she turns it on, Baron's like, "You're a Jedi!" And I'm like, that's not how that works. That's totally not how that works.
Yeah.
But I love the like whimsical like giddiness, like the childlike imagination that these two have when they are together, because like she is like trying to get like a handle on this lightsaber and they're both freaking out, and like she almost accidentally like just almost decapitates him, and she's like, "Are you alive?" He's like, "Yeah, barely." But they make some hilarious faces, and it's so
They
cute and so
do.
fun.
And you imagine, like, if you were the one holding that lightsaber and going, "Oh my gosh, I'm holding a lightsaber," like you would be doing the exact same thing.
Oh, 100%. I even saw there was a video today that I was just scrolling past. It was a parody video that's like, oh, the largest real lightsaber, and like he like turned it on, and it was like legit, like maybe like 2 inches long, and like for a split second he like looked at it at like pointed it at his face, and I'm like, dude, like what are we doing here? Like to point it away from you, please. But like I thought that was really fun, really cute. The one thing that I actually got annoyed at, and I'm actually not looking forward to for the next two books, Atai has a droid, and this droid,
RR20. You got
yes,
annoyed with his self-destruct montage?
yes, it was funny the first two times. When it happened a third and a fourth time, I was like, okay, too much, for one book. If you held those other two for the very next volume and then do it another 2 or 3 times in the volume, okay. But when you do it too many times, and also this book is what, like nearly 150 pages, I give or take. It actually,
202.
wow, really? Okay. Yeah, like the droid just he did it too many times. For my taste. But the fact that Itai showed some sort of like, and it's more so a like, hey, I need you in a like, you have important data, not like, oh, I need you in a friendship type of way. But still, he showed some sort of like humanity when explaining that. So I was like, okay, maybe there's something there that we'll
Yeah.
explore some other time.
What did you think about Yindi? The girl
Yin.
Mari Santeca, except
I
she has
was
force
exactly, yes.
visions.
I was very interested by her character. Okay, so she is introduced when immediately after Atai has a conversation with Kylo Ren. And he these like, I guess this like necklace or whatever
Yeah,
that
it's like data cards.
data cards that Nyoka was wearing. And he says like, "Hey, I'm looking for this woman. I need your visions. Where is she gonna be?" And she also explains like, "Oh, I chose you and Kylo Ren," and like
Hmm.
kind of like threatening them. And I was like, "Okay, okay. So what is all this about?" And learning that she has this ability for visions. I I'm interested to know like where she came from.
Yeah, because like a tie and R20 um basically talk about her a little bit and are like, yeah, like on her planet she was basically an oracle and
Yeah,
she can locate people via touching one of their objects.
kind of small minor spoilers for the Master of Evil. Kind of reminded me of that tribe
Yeah.
a little bit, just a little bit. But yeah, I'm very interested to know where she came from. More so like how he got in possession of her, more or
Yeah,
less, you know.
because especially with like the little prison she's in, basically, like that's what it feels like is Mari Santeca. And there's a lot of High Republic references in this.
Mm-hmm.
You get a Wayseeker. There's references to an abyss that the Wayseeker was kind of investigating and basically decided to hold herself up in the ice over is so nobody could find this dark side abyss.
Yeah, and like I'm very curious because again, like the episode is named, "The Future of Star Wars." Like Atai told Kylo Ren, "Hey, this is something that we're looking for because this, right?"
Hmm.
And he does mention, "Oh, this High Republic Jedi was hiding something."
Yep.
To the point that she got so afraid that she made her ship a tomb. She did not want anybody else to know what she had found.
Yep.
And so like I'm super excited. Like what kind of implication does that have? Like we know even if Lucasfilm doesn't know that Lucasfilm wants everything to be canon. So like
Oh,
these projects, the words that you put inside of these projects holds weight. There's got to be something to it, right? And so,
yeah.
like, if there's any implication that Kylo Ren, the First Order, and or the New Republic knows anything about what was in the High Republic, like, I want to see those implications. Like, I want to
Yeah.
see more of that. And so I'm really excited about what this means for the future of other projects to be announced. We also get a montage, the montage that I did love in this. There's a whole list of old Jedi temples. And
Yep.
they acknowledge, hey, clearly some of these temples are not going to be around. But there may be something there that could lead you to a Jedi Master to teach you how to wield a lightsaber. And you just go on to this montage, just next, 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 and it's crazy because then we get one frame
I
that's like the
feel
First Order that's like attacking them. They're like next, next, next.
yeah.
Oh God, ah! Like it's so fun. I thought that was really funny.
It was super funny, and I felt like one of the places was actually Alderaan because they show up and they're like in the middle of this like asteroid storm basically, and I
Mm-hmm.
wonder if that was supposed to be Alderaan, and they were like, "Oh crap!"
I could see that actually. I could see that.
I thought that was unique, but they come down to this last place, and it's called oh gosh, I already lost it. But they think it's a Jedi temple. And instead, it is actually probably a temple that has been modified for royal guard training,
Yeah.
specifically Imperial Guard training. And this is Archaidon is the name of the planet. But
Which has a giant statue of Darth Vader,
Darth Vader.
which I really dug. I was like, okay, this is kind of cool.
Yes.
Now, here's the thing that gets a little iffy though. This was a place that was created to train the Royal Guard. The Royal Guard technically was not for Darth Vader. It was for Palpatine. Why would there be a statue of Darth Vader? It's the nitpicky stuff that I have, but it is what it is. I think more so, Darth Vader was seen as this all-powerful right hand of Palpatine. He was the strongest warrior of the Empire type of thing.
That's
And I
kind
think
of
that
what
might have
my
been.
head is
Yeah.
in line with is in that regard. He's a powerful warrior. There was probably some Jedi motifs around the area that Palpatine was like, we must replace these. And so they did Vader, they did Imperial symbols, like all that sort of thing. So I didn't think too much about it. I did find it funny that he was holding a lightsaber made of stone. That's just kind of funny to me. I don't know why.
How did you feel about, because we're at that moment, Nyoka using the Force?
Especially with
Quote unquote, the Force.
I definitely believed it for a hot minute because I felt like with
Same.
how Star Wars has kind of gone, and this is not a bad thing in the slightest, but with how Star Wars has kind of progressed, I felt like it was a moment that could definitely happen. But I did love that she was just like, you know what? I'm gonna modify it. It's gonna be fine.
And I love how freaking Baron was like, how dare you
Yep.
ruin an ancient artifact such as a Jedi lightsaber, right? Which I thought was hilarious. But what I also love is in that conversation, we also get the actual imposter of the Red Guard. His name was oh shoot, what is his name?
Hang on. I got it. It's here somewhere. Oh my goodness.
Tobu?
Tobu
Is it-
Tyson.
Tyson. Yeah. Also, I don't know why, but Tyson.
I went looking for the Master of Evil guy because it was not. It's not, obviously. Because he did.
But the name was familiar to me when I read
Yeah.
Tyson. So, oh, it says here. Oh, Talzin. No, I didn't mean Talzin. I said Tyson. See, you're trying to trick me, Google. But when we see him, of course, he's trying to defeat Nyoka.
Mhm.
We learn that his father was the actual royal guard, and that the First Order killed his father. Nyoka immediately wants to team up. Hey, we have a mutual person that we're entity that we're trying to go towards,
Yep.
and I need some sort of trainer slash master. I really dug Baron being like, yo, hold up, wait a minute. This dude is training in the dark side. Fear, hate, all of these things. This is not the Jedi way. Right?
Yeah.
And we have our opinions about the way that the Jedi trained and excluded some emotional aspects of people's lives.
Yeah.
Is this something that's going to bite Nyoka in the future? Or is this something that will actually be beneficial? How do you feel?
I don't feel like it's something that will bite her because I feel like that's the path forward that Disney is choosing to take with Star Wars in general. So, and it was a big theme of the High Republic, right? Because Tobu goes in after Baron says it and is like, hey, like, fear is your home. Fear warns you, keeps you where, and shows you where to improve. You never defeat fear, but you never run away. You stay and face it. And I just love that quote because it ties everything back in together. It pulls the High Republic into it. I definitely think this is the direction Disney wants to go with the Jedi Order is, hey, there is no Jedi. We are kind of changing the way Jedi think, basically, with it.
And that's what I was going to bring up is the fact that, like, we've had these overall conversations as well, not only in Star Wars, but in, like, media overall, referencing even that of Black Panther in the MCU. You look at your main villain,
Mm-hmm.
and, like, they actually start to make a little sense, and you're like, hold on a second. How do I feel
Mm-hmm.
about this? And I really dig that quote because there is truth in everything that he's saying. And it makes the audience, it makes the reader think, wait a second, this is what I've heard is always bad in the perspective of the Jedi.
Mm-hmm.
How can this be beneficial? If the writer, of course, being Kenny Ruiz,
Kenny Ruiz, yeah.
I hope that he writes it in a way that's like, hey, this is how it is going to be beneficial. And this is how we're also going to make our own boundaries of, hey, I can go this far, but I won't go past that, you know?
And that's what I guess I was hoping out of the High Republic, but they just unfortunately just ran out of time with
Mm-hmm.
that. So I think that things can be expanded on and we really just make it work long term and we just keep playing in this grand because like the High Republic authors really did something great. And so I would love to see that continued like it needs to be.
100%. But she agrees. And they are going to team up. But that's the end of the book, really. I don't remember there being anything else after that. I think uh yeah, that is the end of the overall story. Um I really like this. Um I think that this book can and will get much darker. Um for the fact that we don't actually see it, which is like, oh wow, but they went there. I'm pretty
Mm-hmm.
sure I'm pretty sure Kilo was decapitated. Um,
Yes.
the captain, because they showed everything but her head after the attack.
Yeah.
Um, so like seeing that, I was like, oh, okay. Um,
Yeah.
oh. So like I love the lightheartedness of everything. I still like that there is goofiness, and that is also the nature of manga. Like no matter how crazy dark or serious the book can get, there's always something there to kind of smooth some things out as far as tone wise. And I like the tone of this. I really do. And I really do hope that whatever Kenny Ruiz does with this trilogy, that Lucasfilm and Marvel uh, can keep it as far as continuity and move forward with it and add things to it, because I think that would be really fun.
Yeah, 100%. Guys, I cannot find a release date for Volume 2, but this was announced originally as a trilogy. So, yeah, hopefully we get to see Volume 2 soon. And we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, for those of you who are probably wondering, well, what's the next thing on our list? I do know that we've talked about the Legacy of Vader, Volume 1, Legacy of Vader, Volume 2, should be out either late January or early
I think it comes out in
February.
March.
Does it come out in March? Oh my god, I thought it
Yeah.
was earlier in the year.
What?
Uh,
Hang on, I got it up. I got the release dates up. Let me look. Yeah, Legacy of Vader Volume 2 is March 31st.
Dang it. Um, well, then never mind, guys, because I don't have these things memorized.
Well, next week, guys, we are talking about Fear of the Jedi, which is High Republic Marvel Phase 3, Volume 3. And then we are also talking Phase Three's High Republic Adventures, Phase 3 High Republic Adventures, Volume 5. So that is what we will be talking about next week. And that actually concludes the rest of the new material from 2025.
Yes. Yes,
Um,
yes.
Guys, we may not be live next week. I'm having an MRI, which means I have to basically be sedated. I'm having that on Wednesday. It's just my annual MRI. But we may not be live. I have to talk to Clay about it because it just got finalized. So, but we will have an episode for you guys next week.
Yeah.
Clay, where can they find you?
Of course, you can find me at FanboyClay on any and all social media. I want to go ahead and also apologize. There's been a lot of chaotic things happening in my household. I do promise that there's going to be more Instagram content. Things just got a little out of hand the last month or so. So you guys should be seeing more of that on your feeds. Go ahead and also follow Ranger Alliance. Jake and I talked about the future of that show as well. With the cancellation, there is going to be a new show that is taking the exact same time slot as far as Japanese networking. So everything should be okay, but we are not entirely sure how that's all going to lay out in the future, especially with the actual Power Rangers show being confirmed and in development and everything else. We don't know how Disney Plus is going to release those. And so we are standing by to see when exactly, if we need to move the show like we normally do with Star Wars or Marvel or DC, when the corresponding shows take place, you know. So we'll take all of that by ear. But yeah, Katie, what about you?
Y'all, you can find me on most social media platforms as @SliceOfKatie. Like Clay said, we have been swamped. We have been sick as dogs. So our social media game have been slacking. But we are there, guys. We promise. We do check in on things. So we saw somebody tried to log into the Instagram account.
That's a little scary.
So, yeah. So if you send us a message, we will get back to you guys. But you can find us on social media. Speaking of which, it on Blue Sky, Instagram, Threads, Star Wars Alliance. There is no A in the wars. Remember that. Very important. Don't forget it. You can put that username and put it in front of @gmail.com and shoot us an email. Just remember, give us a name, some way to reference you on the show. We love hearing from you guys. So with that, I want to wish everyone a great day or night, whatever time of day you are listening or watching, and we will see y'all next time. May the force be with you.